So before we dive into our first lesson, I want to give you a quick overview of what you're going to learn during the course. So the course is broken up into 5 main parts. In the first part, you're going to learn how to improve your daily routine to become a more successful entrepreneur. Next, you'll learn how to brainstorm pains that you truly want to solve. And a pain is simply something that is not perfect, that gives people grief throughout their day, or is inhibiting somebody from hitting their goals. Next, we're going to learn how to validate that customers have the pain that you want to solve. In part 4 of the course, you're going to learn how to brainstorm solutions to the pains that customers have. And finally, we're going to learn how to validate that customers want your solution by getting you your first paying customers. So to give you a little bit more information about what daily habits you're going to learn about in part 1, firstly, we're going to go over AM and PM daily rituals that you can do for 5 minutes every morning and 5 minutes every evening that will greatly increase the likelihood of your success. Next, I'm going to go over a daily pain journal, which is where you can start brainstorming and sharing with yourself the pains that you run into on a daily basis. And this is going to make it so that you're much better at brainstorming pains as you continually get better at going through your daily pain journal. And lastly, I'm going to teach you guys how to make things habits. There's 8 simple hacks that can go into making something much more likely to be habitualized. So I'll teach you each one of those. Next, we'll move into pain brainstorming. In pain brainstorming, first we're going to go through some pain brainstorming exercises. So these are questions that are developed to ensure that you start thinking about the pains that you've been experiencing on a daily basis. Next, I'm going to show you some online demand research tactics that can show you what people are searching for in terms of pains and what potential competitors are offering as solutions to pains and the pains that they're going after. Next, I'm going to show you an initial customer discovery template. And what customer discovery is simply speaking to people that would be potential customers to identify what it is that's really hurting them in their daily lives and whether or not they're doing anything to solve that. Because if they are currently working to solve these pains, that means that they're much more likely to buy off on a new solution like what you're offering and actually pay you so that you can go and develop the product or solution that you want to build. And lastly, I'm going to show you how to pick a pain to begin validating. And then that'll tie us into part 3, which is pain validation. So the first thing that we're going to learn in pain validation is the intermediate customer discovery template. And what this is just a more in-depth template that allows you to get better information from your customers to identify whether or not they truly have the pain and would be willing to take action to solve it. Next, I'm going to show you where to find customers. So this will be broken down into the beginning phase and later stage, just so that you can identify where the best places to look for customers are, depending on where you are within your product or service. Next, I'm going to define what a validated pain means, so that you can understand exactly what our goal is before we move on to solution brainstorming. And finally, I'll teach you how to decide whether or not your pain is validated to the point that you want to start brainstorming solutions and presenting those to customers. So that'll tie into solution brainstorming. And the first thing we're going to do is teach you what a minimum viable product is, also known as an MVP. Once you have a good, strong understanding of that, we'll begin going through some brainstorming techniques so that you can start coming up with potential MVPs for your pain. Then I'm going to show you some tools that can be used for minimal viable product building, and this will just greatly save you time as you go out to test whether or not people want your solutions. And lastly, I'm going to show you what to decide or how to decide what to test first. And this is critical because you always want to ensure that you're testing your biggest assumptions first so that you can prove or disprove whether or not you should move on to the next step. And part 5 of the course is solution testing. So in this part, I'm going to show you how to create experiments that you can run each week. And I'm going to show you how to test the solutions via build, measure, learn loops. So I'll give you a definition of that once we get to solution testing. And finally, I'm going to show you how to review the results that you're going to get each and every week so that you can ensure that you're progressing down the line with your solution. And then at the end of the course, there's also some bonus materials. So these are things that can just help you ensure that you're more successful and you're better at planning and moving forward. So there's 3 things. The first is what are the typical paths for lifestyle investor-funded businesses? So I'll present to you these paths, and you can identify whether or not you want to go down lifestyle or investor-funded. Or if you're unclear, you can go down the beginning steps of both, as they're very similar, and make a decision once you're a little bit more comfortable with starting your own social venture. Next, I'm going to show you how to set 2-week goals. And I highly recommend 2-week goals because these are the amount of time that you can actually go out, have a singular focus, execute on your goals, and then review and repeat. And lastly, I'm going to give you some exercises that can help you with your beliefs, because your beliefs and your belief of whether or not you can or will succeed will greatly affect the likelihood of you actually succeeding. So with that, let's dive into our first lesson, which is going to be on daily rituals.